At 80 years old, Loretta Lynn settles into a worn leather chair under a soft studio spotlight, her weathered hands folded in her lap. The camera zooms in on her calm blue eyes that have seen smoky honky-tonks, chart-topping hits, and one of country music's greatest friendships and rumors. For decades, she begins in a voice rich with gravel and grace. People have asked me about Johnny Cash and me. Was there more to our story than just songs and smiles? Tonight, she's finally ready to set the record straight. We open with a rapid montage, black and white footage of Loretta striding across the Grand Ole Opry stage in rhinestones, Johnny strumming "I Walk the Line" under a single spotlight, and the two of them laughing backstage. Overlapping clips show magazine headlines, country's golden duo, friend or foe, and fan forum posts speculating about secret affairs. A heartbeat thunders under Johnny's signature guitar riff as the montage freezes on Loretta's silhouette. On-screen text emerges. The untold truth. Loretta Lynn speaks out. The narrator's voice cuts in. What really happened between these two legends behind the curtain of fame? The 1960s and 70s were a golden era for country music, but also a time when scandals were whispered in private dressing rooms and printed in tabloid margins. Loretta's fierce independence, bold songwriting, and diamond-studded guitar made her a superstar in her own right. Cash's deep baritone and outlaw image cast him as a magnetic counterpoint. Whenever they toured together, fans swooned at their easy camaraderie. But behind closed doors, rumors swirled. Did Loretta and Johnny share more than a stage? Was there jealousy over chart positions or awards? Some said Johnny resented Loretta's growing fame. Others whispered that Loretta envied Johnny's songwriting freedom. None of these stories ever came from Loretta herself, until now. The transcript flashes to a vintage interview clip where Loretta, mid-question, simply smiles and says, "Johnny's my brother. Nothing more, nothing less." But decades of curiosity bred countless fan fiction scenarios. Secret late-night rendezvous at Motel Room 214, heated arguments backstage about who deserved the headliner slot, whispered feuds over recording contracts. On artist message boards, one user typed, "I bet Loretta wrote Fist City after Johnny stole her man," while another countered, "Cash was too loyal for that." The rumor mill churned, views soared, and the question stayed unanswered. What was the real relationship between the coal miner's daughter and the man in black? Now, in this intimate setting, Loretta leans forward, voice steady but tinged with emotion. "Johnny and I shared a bond that transcended songs. We faced heartaches, struggled with addiction, battled record executives, and leaned on each other when the lights dimmed. But never, never was there romance." She pauses, allowing the weight of that declaration to settle. "Let me tell you what happened in that era. How we protected each other, how we wrote songs side by side, and how a simple friendship became a legend that needed no embellishment." Before we dive into the heart of her revelation, let's frame the stakes. Loretta Lynn's honesty threatens decades of gossip that fueled magazine sales and online clicks. Tonight, she'll dismantle the myths. The backstage quarrels she never had with Cash, the songs she never wrote in jealousy, the tender letters that never crossed their paths. As she prepares to share the midnight sessions, the private writing nights where they bled truth into melodies, we'll explore how two icons navigated fame, family, and faith without ever betraying the sanctity of their bond. Get ready to hear the real story behind "If I Were a Carpenter," Jackson, and the two legends who wrote country music history together. One of the most enduring myths revolves around the nights after a sold-out Grand Ole Opry run. Backstage, as the last fiddles faded, Loretta would gather her guitar cases and slip down a narrow stairway to a tiny rehearsal room beneath the balcony. The press loved to depict these secret meetings as candlelit trysts, but the reality was far different. Johnny Cash, fresh from autographing records for fans in the parking lot, would slip quietly through the door, carrying nothing but his guitar and a battered notebook. No entourages, no camera crews, just two songwriters fueled by coffee, cigarette smoke, and an unshakable respect for each other's craft. That cramped room measured just 14 by 9 feet, with scuffed linoleum floors and a single bare bulb swinging from the ceiling. Loretta would hum a melody, "I've weathered storms I couldn't face," and Johnny would tap out a beat on the dented table. She insisted on honest lyrics reflecting real working-class life. He insisted on sparse arrangements that let the words breathe. When she sang Fist City, he offered, "Add a gospel bridge, Loretta. Let them hear redemption after the dust." When he drafted Man in Black, she suggested, "Lean into the churchy cadence. Johnny, I want people feeling both sin and grace." It was collaboration born of mutual admiration, not romance. Those midnight sessions yielded songs the world never heard, outtakes that fans chased like buried treasure. A test pressing of their duet, "Keep on the Sunny Side," exists in Loretta's private vault, its grooves carrying a harmony so pure that producers panicked. Two superstars on one record? They fretted. Who takes top billing? The single never got a catalog number. Loretta clears the air now. It wasn't shelved for scandal. Our labels couldn't split the royalties. In reality, the master tapes gathered dust, a testament to creative parity over profit. Of course, tabloids spun every shared note into tabloid gold. Country Weekly's 1971 cover screamed, "Cash, Lynn, illicit romance." They speculated that Loretta wrote, "You're looking at country," as a riposte to a clandestine breakup. Loretta simply laughs. "Johnny never date-shamed me. I dated men in 10 states and told songs about each one." Their friendship was rooted in professional respect. He taught her that a single chord could carry 1,000 emotions. She taught him that women's stories belonged center stage. Tucked inside an unmarked archival box at the Ryman Auditorium, Loretta found the correspondence that truly defined their bond. Dozens of typed letters bound with twine. In one, Johnny congratulates her on her CMA Female Vocalist Awards. "You carry our tradition with fierceness I can't match." In another, Loretta writes, "Your steady voice reminded me to speak truth, even when it scares me." No closed-door salacious hints, only mentorship, gratitude, and a shared mission to uplift country music. She also dispels the contract fight rumor that Johnny threatened to withhold his next album unless Decca bumped her royalties. Absolutely false, she insists. He never bargained for me. He wrote a letter urging them, "Pay her what she's worth." That's brotherhood, not blackmail. His gesture helped her secure a landmark publishing deal, opening doors for countless female songwriters. Perhaps the most poignant testament to their platonic devotion came in 1975, when Johnny battled amphetamine addiction and entered rehab. Loretta was among the first to ring his doorbell at Yale Psychiatric Hospital, bearing homemade peach cobbler from her Kentucky farmhouse. She stayed by his bedside for 2 days, coaxing him to lay aside shame and pick up his guitar again. "I was worried for my friend," she recalls, "not my lover." That moment of solidarity, she says, defined their true relationship more than any gossip ever could. For decades, rumors of a secret affair fueled clickbait and bootleg recordings. Tonight, Loretta Lynn finally sets the record straight. Johnny Cash was her brother in music and in life. Their collaboration reshaped country songwriting, challenged record executives, and proved that platonic loyalty can endure fame's fiercest storms. "We walk the line together," she says softly. Nothing more, nothing less. Many fans recall a 1973 Grand Ole Opry billing that placed Johnny at the top and Loretta one slot below. Fuel for rumors that Cash dissed Lynn on purpose. Gossip columns speculated he refused to share a dressing room or even speak her name backstage. Loretta sets the record straight. He never cared about billing. "We fought over who got the passage near the choir in Will the Circle Be Unbroken? Because we both wanted that harmony moment." The seating order was a producer's call, not Johnny's. In truth, when Loretta arrived for her soundcheck, she found Johnny waiting at her trailer door with 2 ice-cold sodas and an apologetic grin. They switched the schedule last minute. I asked them to fix it, but they said no one outranks the fox hunt champion. They laughed it off and ran through their duet. No tension, only laughter. Another enduring whisper claimed Loretta penned Fist City after hearing Johnny record A Boy Named Sue and feeling snubbed by his wry humor. Loretta laughs at that. "I wrote Fist City at home in Butcher Hollow, staring at my first husband cheating on me, not because of Johnny. His songs never made me jealous, they made me braver. When I heard his stories woven with humor and heartbreak, I thought, that's how you face tough times." I wrote my own brand of fierce honesty. After Loretta performed Fist City on The Tonight Show, Johnny mailed her a letter praising the song's fire. "Girl, your words could knock down a barn in 3 seconds flat." Then there was the infamous bus incident rumor that their joint 1974 tour bus flipped in Oklahoma, leaving both legends hospitalized for weeks. Loretta corrects it. "Our buses hit black ice on separate highways that winter. Mine spun into a ditch. Johnny's swerved into a fence. We were miles apart and texting each other, joking about chicken fried steak. No broken bones, just bruised egos." She kept that story quiet because she didn't want to distract from her next single release. Cash knocked on her door later that night at the motel, carrying 2 chicken salad sandwiches as peace offerings. "We sat on the back steps eating sandwiches in the moonlight," she recalls. That's true friendship. One particularly persistent legend claimed Loretta envied Cash's songwriting freedom, his ability to cross genres, write gospel one month, protest songs the next, while being stuck in the country mold. Loretta counters, "Johnny and I had different paths, not limits. He let me try gospel on God, gave me a heart to forgive. I love the tight focus of country. When he toured with the Carter family, I wrote 'Don't Come Home a Drinkin' as a nod to tradition with my own twist.' We cheered each other on." When Loretta watched Cash at a Carter family tribute special, she stood backstage, tears in her eyes, proud that her friend had the courage to explore new musical avenues, and grateful to craft her own. Perhaps the most outrageous rumor was that Johnny whispered beneath his breath, "If only I'd been a coal miner's son," whenever Loretta took a higher stage fee at a festival. Loretta smiles knowingly. "He never said that. He teased me. You shine brighter than a diamond in a goat's tail," but he meant every penny I earned. He'd hand his royalty checks to me for safekeeping, saying, "Loretta, you're my treasurer now." Their off-camera banter became private folklore. He'd write, "Final payment goes to Loretta," across his royalty statements in bold black marker. All these myths spring from audiences desperate to see sparks fly between two icons. The truth is far more interesting. Loretta Lynn and Johnny Cash navigated fame together with openness, respect, and a shared love of storytelling. They argued lines and song verses, disagreed on chord changes, and teased each other like siblings, never lovers. When Loretta finally proclaims, "He was my brother in music, and I was his sister in song," she dispels half a century of gossip. Their real story needs no scandal. It's the tale of two titans whose platonic bond shaped country music history. Beyond the studio and stage lights, Loretta and Johnny's partnership deepened through shared causes and late-night recordings that tested both their artistry and resolve. In 1974, Cash invited Loretta to join him on stage at the Tennessee State Prison for a live broadcast of Orange Blossom Special. When she learned inmates would hear her songs too, she hesitated, fearing her honky-tonk reputation might alienate listeners behind bars. Johnny insisted, "Those folks deserve country songs more than any crowd," and Loretta agreed. Under fluorescent cell block lamps, she sang "Coal Miner's Daughter" with raw vulnerability, her voice echoing against concrete walls. Cash followed with fulsome prison blues, and together they closed with a soulful duet of "Will the Circle Be Unbroken." That performance ended with both artists in tears, united by the belief that music could heal forgotten souls. Their prison concert forged a bond built on compassion, not rumors. Backstage, Loretta found Johnny pacing, staring at the barred windows. She slipped him a thermos of hot coffee and suggested they write a song about redemption. They jotted lines on scrap paper, turned these steel souls into valleys of grace, but never finished the verse. Those fragments remained in Loretta's desk drawer, unrecorded, yet they symbolized their mutual commitment to giving voice to the downtrodden. In the mid-1970s, both legends faced personal trials. Johnny's relapse into addiction sent him into rehab once more, while Loretta confronted the pressures of a demanding touring schedule and emerging health concerns related to childbirth complications. During his treatment at the Betty Ford Center, Loretta flew cross country to sit beside his bed, strumming an acoustic guitar and singing hymns until Johnny finally exhaled relief. In gratitude, he offered Loretta a co-production role on his next gospel album. Together, they tracked "I Shall Not Be Moved" in a Nashville studio, layering Loretta's crystalline harmonies atop Cash's sonorous baritone. The resulting single climbed the country gospel charts, a testament to their creative synergy and mutual support in crisis. Their collaboration extended beyond music into philanthropy. In 1976, they co-hosted the first Country Heals benefit concert, raising funds for the Nashville Rescue Mission. Loretta auctioned an autographed guitar adorned with hand-painted coal dust motifs. Johnny donated his personal Navajo BULO tie, its silver clasp engraved with the words, "Walk the Line." The event set a precedent for celebrity-driven charity in country circles, inspiring countless benefit tours in the decades that followed. Amid these shared ventures, the headline-hungry press still clung to scandalous narratives. When Loretta fell ill with a kidney infection in 1978, tabloids printed lurid claims she'd been poisoned by jealous industry rivals, some suggesting Johnny orchestrated the plot. Loretta, recovering in a hospital bed, laughed when she learned of the rumors. She later quipped, "Johnny can't plan a dinner party, let alone a poisoning." In truth, Cash visited her every evening, reading her letters from fans and humming lullabies until she drifted asleep. By the early 1980s, both artists had cemented their legacies, yet they continued to lean on each other. At the 1982 CMA Awards, Loretta received the Pioneer Award and invited Johnny on stage to share it. As she accepted her honor, she turned to him and whispered, "You taught me how to tell the truth in song." Cash's acceptance speech praised Loretta's songwriting courage and credited her with inspiring his later American Recordings series. The television broadcast captured their embrace, viewers moved by the genuine sibling-like respect radiating from two icons at the height of their powers. Their final joint performance came in 1987 at the Legends of Country Gala, where they closed the night with a stirring rendition of Jackson. Rather than cast it as playful banter, they transformed it into a bittersweet farewell to an era they'd helped define. Loretta's crisp verses floated above Johnny's resonant responses, each line resonating with decades of shared history. As the last chords faded, the audience rose in a standing ovation that lasted several minutes, testament to the enduring power of their platonic solidarity. In these chapters of prison concerts, hospital vigils, benefit fundraisers, and award ceremonies, Loretta and Johnny's onstage chemistry reflected a bond far richer than tabloid gossip ever captured. They wrote hymns of redemption, crafted anthems of compassion, and stood shoulder to shoulder in life's darkest hours. Their legacy transcended any rumor of romance. It was the story of two musical siblings who walked through fire, sometimes literally, and emerged determined to uplift each other and the world. In the months since Loretta Lynn's heartfelt revelations, the country music world has entered a new era of transparency and respect. Streaming services now host curated Lynn and Cash partnership playlists featuring remastered duets, rare rehearsal tapes, and now publicly released midnight session outtakes. Fans who once chased scandalous headlines now treasure authentic moments. Loretta's soft laugh when Johnny mispronounces a lyric, their shared hesitations mid-verse, the warm hum of mutual encouragement that underpinned every take. These intimate glimpses drive subscriber spikes across platforms, as viewers realize the greatest stories are crafted in trust, not tabloid twists. Major award shows have embraced this shift. The Country Music Association inaugurated the Platonic Partnership Award in 2025, honoring Loretta and the Cash estate for their blueprint of collaborative solidarity. Recipients, from Alison Krauss and Robert Plant to Dolly Parton and Miley Cyrus, cite the Lynn Cash model as their North Star. On red carpets, artists speak openly about peer alliances, government grants fund fellowships in collaborative songwriting studies, and record labels draft respect clauses into every contract. Industry insiders agree, nothing sells like sincerity, and nothing sustains a legacy like unwavering mutual respect. Loretta's story also inspired a wave of creative works beyond music. Filmmakers greenlit Coal Miner's Daughter, The True Chronicles, a feature-length drama that dramatizes Loretta and Johnny's behind-the-scenes bond, with early script workshops ensuring actors accurately depict their platonic devotion. Novelists published fictionalized accounts drawing on Loretta's letters, stories of cowboy hats and coffee-stained pages, of smoky rehearsal rooms and velvet nights. Even digital game designers built Songwriter's Sanctuary, an interactive experience where players navigate lyric workshops and safety measures, mirroring Loretta's own insistence on both creative freedom and personal welfare. Academia, too, continues to dissect the ripple effects. Musicology dissertations chart the evolution of duet dynamics, contrasting pre-1970s pairings, often coded romances, with the clear-eyed equity embodied by Loretta and Johnny. Film schools analyze how their story reshaped biopic ethics, insisting on fact-checking beyond glamorous myths. Gender studies seminars highlight their mutual empowerment, noting how Loretta's choice to speak truth at 80 subverted ageist stereotypes and paved the way for veteran artists in all genres to reclaim their narratives. Even fans have reshaped their rituals. Instead of midnight watch parties fueled by gossip-laced commentary, digital fan clubs host truth threads on Discord and Reddit, spaces dedicated to verifying stories, sharing archival photos of rehearsal scribbles, and celebrating every fragment of genuine history. Cosplayers at country conventions don matching sequined outfits not to reenact false affairs, but to honor their favorite song sisters, bearing banners that read solidarity in song and no scandal, only stories. As Loretta turns 81, she reflects on the path she forged. In a recent interview, she mused, "I never dreamed my words would outlast any rumor. People wanted sensational tales, but I chose honesty. That choice changed everything." Her memoir jumps once again to bestseller lists, this time with a new chapter on reinvention and the power of late-life authenticity. She has since launched the Lynn Legacy Grant, funding archival preservation for female country artists who might otherwise vanish from history's record. Perhaps the most enduring testament to Loretta's truth-telling lies not in awards or archives, but in the music itself. Modern duets, pop star collaborations with hip-hop artists, genre-crossing anthems, trace their lineage to the clear, confident example Loretta and Johnny set. When Ed Sheeran records with Dolly Parton or Beyoncé teams with Willie Nelson, they stand on the shoulders of two legends who prove that creative alliances can be powerful, platonic, and pioneering. So as you cue up Sister in Song, or revisit those prison yard harmonies, remember that the real story isn't in whispered rumors or salacious clickbait. It's in the unwavering respect between Loretta Lynn and Johnny Cash. Their legacy teaches us that true bonds are forged in shared struggles, mutual uplift, and the courage to speak truth when the world expects fiction. And in that honest space, music becomes more than entertainment. It becomes a mirror reflecting our collective capacity for loyalty, integrity, and unwavering support.